All right, so now we have the rough assembly put together of the creature, and some of the ideas had to change for my sketch, and that's just fine, but the integrity of my sketch is there. So I'm going to go ahead and make another layer group. I have the chest and shoulders, and now I'm going to have the legs and arms. Move all these layers that I'm using into here. I'm going to open up some of the other layers, and I'm going to delete these layers I'm not using because they waste memory now that I have a lot to do. And I need to work with what I have and make the most of it at this point. Okay, so I've got these three layers, or these layer groupings. Now I need to clean them up. So I'm going to start with the head, turn everything off, even turn my sketch off. Right? Because I want to be able to see it cleanly on the white. And I'm not going to flatten the head at all. I'm going to think about what is the outside edge that I want, and how do I get there, and which layers are involved. And if there's little things, I'm just going to do it with the direct eraser tool. Make it a little bit smaller, but it's 100% opacity. I don't want to have little ghosted marks left over. So 100% opacity for sure. Fairly small and pressure sensitive. And hard edged. Not 100% hardness necessarily, but very close. Now this depends. I'm doing something that's kind of scaly and shiny, so a pretty hard edge makes sense. If you're doing feathers or something, fur, something really soft, you might want a slightly softer eraser for cleaning out the outside edge. But you want it at 100% opacity, 100% flow, because you want to be able to really create what that edge is. Okay, so I'm looking for layers, I'm turning them on and off, that affect the outside edge. And those are the ones I'm dealing with. These interior edges aren't as important right now. So this is a big one. You might have to zoom in even more. Now this is all overlap I can use. I'm going to turn on the neck just so I can see it, but all this I need to clean up. And it depends on what your reference is like. If you're able to do it with the magic wand, quick selection tool, feel free. But a lot of the time it's going to take a creative decision of what the placement of the edge should best be. Like this horned lizard's horns, they're not smooth, you know. I can decide to kind of make them smooth, and they're actually really pointy, and I'm going to round them off a little bit. They look a little bit more structural for something this size. And that's where using the tablet is really helpful. So you can have pressure sensitivity as you sculpt the edge. Cutting into it. Okay, looking pretty good. All right, what's left? So the reason we wanted to place all of it together like this before we started cleaning up the outside is because we don't want to waste any effort erasing things that aren't showing. So I'm really only focused on the elements that are going to show in the final composite. And if I notice that parts of the final composite are not giving me the shape I want, I can deal with that when I blend textures together. Like I don't love this softness in here. This is all going to get filled, but this is the silhouette I want. Remember, silhouette's the first and most vital thing to maintain control of through your sketch. Because that's what gives the main impression of your creature. Okay, so I've got the head trimmed. I'm going to save that. It doesn't matter if the colors match yet, doesn't matter if the lighting matches yet, it matters that the silhouette is what you want, and it is. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking I could have just used a seahorse, but I don't think a seahorse could look that cool. So everything you can come up with has probably already been invented. Worked with already. Okay, now I know I want this silhouette, and I have to find out which layers really impact it. And it's by and large this layer. So I'm going to turn off the head. And I'm going to start getting rid of this orange. And for this, I think I can get away with using some of this. Well, actually, here I'll show you a different method. Because I could do what we did with the landscape and use the magic wand with contiguous turned on. Hold down Shift, erase away. And I'm going to do that to select it, but then I'm just going to use my regular eraser while it's selected and kind of make a little outline around it. Because in some areas I want the shape to be a little bit different than what's in just that reference. On the inside of the arm, hold down Shift, I can extend it, then I can zoom in. And with my just slightly soft eraser, and erase away the edge. Okay. So in cleaning this, I'm really paying attention to the outside silhouette I want. But I'm not just deleting from whatever the magic wand gives me. So I want control. So this is a really good instance. I want that chest to come in front. So when I delete, it doesn't really matter what's under here, because what I take from that layer is what's going to matter. But I want that transition. And that's the advantage of keeping these on separate layers. And then for this hand, because it's a little bit hard to find, and who knows, I might be able to use some of it. I'll just roughly cut that out. Actually, not roughly, as cleanly as I can, but it's hard to even tell what's there because it's so dark. Pressure sensitive, slightly soft eraser at 100% opacity. Okay, now the reason you don't have to erase all of it is once you have a nice little channel, then you can just lasso it in sections and delete without any worries of getting rid of something you didn't mean to. And sometimes the lasso doesn't get everything. Let's see what other layers are happening. This is for the back. I want to ride along these scales. Now, unlike the landscape where the background might be soft and blurry, we want all of our creature, the entirety of the outline shape to be nice, sharp, and in focus. So edges and the edge control is obviously very important. I'm going to turn the head back on just to see how important this shape is here. Get the right angle. And I like this little ruffle actually, so I'm going to keep that little bump. And now I know where the head needs to be cut to overlap. So, this layer, can safely get rid of all that. I want to keep a little bit of this overlap, but I can pretty safely